Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Nora is off. I'm Margaret Brennan. As we come on the air, the coronavirus crisis nationwide is not only deepening, it's more deadly. The country's three biggest states, California, Florida, and Texas, are all reporting their largest one-day death tolls since the pandemic began. Hospitals there are struggling to keep up with an exploding number of patients. And in Arizona, where about 1 in every 4 tests now comes up positive, lines to get screened stretch for blocks, and supplies are running out. The misery caused by the virus is only being amplified by its economic impact. We learned today another 1.3 million Americans filed for unemployment in the past week. In the meantime, today, the head of the CDC backed off the idea that his agency would change its guidelines for reopening schools after the vice president suggested that it would. And tonight, the country's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says he believes the country's hardest hit states should consider pausing plans to reopen. More than 3 million cases of coronavirus have now been confirmed in the U.S., and more than 133,000 people have been killed by the virus nationwide. President Trump didn't address that growing death toll today, but he did lash out at the Supreme Court after the justices ruled against him, clearing the way for a New York grand jury to see his tax returns. There is a lot of reporting to get to, and our team of correspondents is covering it all. CBS's David Begnaud leads our coverage tonight from Orlando. David?
Margaret, good evening. We are outside Disney World because today they reopened to their annual pass holders, as they're known. That's despite the fact that here in Orange County, where most of Disney World is located, new coronavirus infections have jumped 130% over the last 12 days. Despite that, Disney World is set to open up to the general public Saturday.
Loyal annual pass holders got first dibs inside Disney World today. But the magic doesn't quite look the same. Visitors and employees as they enter have their temperature checked, guests have to wear a mask, and social distance where they can.
She's gorgeous.
What was your reaction when you heard that Disney World was reopening?
I think it's like pouring gasoline on a fire. I don't think it's going to help us drive down our case rates. I think it's going to do the opposite.
You should take precautions, but there's no need to be panicked. There's no need to be fearful.
41 states now report increases in average new cases compared to just 2 weeks ago. In Phoenix, people were lining up to be tested before sunrise. The number of people getting tested is overwhelming the labs there, so that's leading to delays in getting the test results. One man in Tucson reportedly waited 27 days for his. Dr. Anthony Fauci.
If you're going to do contact tracing and the test comes back in 5 to 7 days, you might as well not do contact tracing because it's already too late.
Today, he also urged the hardest hit states to take action right now.
I would think we need to get the states pausing in their opening process, looking at what did not work well, and try to mitigate that.
The country's effort to flatten the curve is an uphill battle. Take a look at the top line, showing an upward climb of COVID-19 cases nationwide. That's a stark contrast to New York's downward trend underneath, and the gap continues to widen. Still, though, officials in New York are not taking any chances. Today, they banned large events through September. The balance of reopening and ensuring public safety is delicate. Shaquana Miller, a Fort Lauderdale hospital worker who took patient information as they arrived, tested positive for the virus and died last week. She was 35. Now her 3-year-old daughter is positive. David Begnaud, CBS News, Orlando.